Hello, and welcome to The Come Up. My name is Nick, and I'm super excited to be here with two incredible guests, Omaha-based artists, Beaufield Berry and Katherine MacHolmes. Hi.
Hello.
Shalom, shalom.
How are you both doing?
Good. I had to rename myself real quick.
I don't think it shows up on the video, so we might be
good.
Safe.
Excellent. I was trying to slip some free marketing in there for my consulting firm.
You two you look fantastic. We were just having great conversation before we got here about the wackiness of the world. The people just keep trying it on all sides. And we're always on the battlefronts on all sides. So before we hop into the conversation of the incredible podcast, how do we fight it on all sides? We're all fighters of the craziness, and we all do it in our own ways. So now you get to actually plug your firm. Tell us about K&R Strategies.
Yeah, so K&R Strategies is a majority Black owned, majority queer owned. That would be me, the Black owned and the queer owned. Change navigation firm that centers equity and justice. So all of that jargon to say that, like, as we have seen organizations not know what to do in terms of their Black and brown folk and their queer folk, my firm is contracted by organizations who are trying to do better and committed to doing better even when it makes them uncomfortable.
See, the uncomfortable part. That's the T.
That's the T. Listen.
Bo, what's going on in your world? I'm excited that you are excited about a couple of like you've been posting about some projects you're working on. Like, so great to be like writing. You've done amazing projects with the Joslyn Castle and the Tri-Faith. I'm gonna ruin the name of that church, but there it is.
Initiative.
Yes, Tri-Faith Initiative. So like, just talk about what you've been working on and what you've been doing at this latter half of the pandemic.
Right. Well, the beginning of the pandemic, I was baking a lot of bread, drinking a lot of wine. I thought it was really cute.
And we met, that's funny, we met you there on the come up. Like, we're now seeing a full path. Like, we've been on full journeys.
And it really was. It was a come up. I was like, this is cute. I'm thriving. I was like, I love pandemic. Okay, I could do this. I love staying home. My children are great. And then race riots began. So then shit changed. And it was no longer about baking bread and drinking wine. It was about, oh, we're doing this. Okay. So the dynamic shifted, I think, for most Black folks, right? This wasn't just a pandemic about health and a virus. It's like also the continuation of the virus of racism and watching it play out again. And how do we navigate that while everybody's supposed to be stuck at home, you know? And then I guess here we are now. And through this year, I've just learned new ways to be creative, new ways to tell stories, new ways to play in education, activism, and entertainment. And that's kind of how the podcast has come up.
Yes, yes. One more thing before we turn to the podcast, the Capitol. Wow. I feel like I just have to say it to everyone that I haven't like seen to like, just to see what the words that come afterwards are.
Yo, okay, the day this shit went down. So my oldest son was supposed to start kindergarten this year. Mm-hmm. Obviously that wasn't gonna happen. So we built a pod of other kindergartners and we just school all of our children together. So they still get to have kindergarten year and be safe, and we don't have to do it alone because no, mama's got shit to do. I can't be homeschooling you. No. The day it happened, I'm at the kindergarten and I'm working with, Zadika Poindexter?
I know the names of Deacon Poindexter.
You would know.
I think I know her. But I'm bad at names and faces. I need to see them together.
No, y'all, you know each other. Okay, so her mom, because I have Zadika's daughter over there. So her mom was there working with me that day at the school. And I was like, hold up, Miss Filma, have you seen this? And she's like, what? And I was like, there's an insurrection right now. And she's like, girl, turn the show on. So we put on the news and we were just like stunned. And before all of the rhetoric hit, because we're watching it in real time, she said, you know, Black folks would never do this. She's like, we've been marching and fighting and all this shit for decades. We have more sense than to go up in here and do this because you already know what would happen.
Mm-hmm.
And then you started hearing that everywhere. And
Mm-hmm.
it went too far. It went too far.
Hot take. I like on the vein of that, I was like, this is literal white supremacy. Literally, because like Black people have been like, yo, can we just like have like an equitable footing in America? And they're like, our guy lost and threw a fucking temper tantrum that was like the end of democracy. Like, it was like the equivalent of like your uncle getting pissed off when someone else is winning the game and they just like flip the game over. Like, we're done with democracy here because it's not working for us anymore. And it's like, that is literal like white supremacy culture right there. You're mad that the institution that is supposed to be working for you is equal enough to just let you not win for 4 years. It's not like it was a wrap for you.
You know what? When I saw cops stand aside to let these people in,
listen,
and
wave them in. Like that video of the man moving the rail guard and then going, "Come on," and like turning his back. I will never. Stu really got on my nerves. That
on them, killed a cop. But you know what?
With a fire extinguisher, like savage. Like it's not even like that's like a savage beating with a fire extinguisher.
Yeah, yeah.
And I beat people with flags.
I would like to see these people's Facebook profiles, because if you have a thin blue line anywhere on your fucking profile, you're about to get checked. The most disgusting part for me, they smeared shit inside the halls. That is animalistic.
Yeah.
I was like, this is filth.
At also, that point, some shit Black people wouldn't do.
Ooh, yeah,
never.
Right.
Let's just name that.
What?
It's nasty.
Like, what?
On the walls?
No.
That's
tell you.
Where did it come from?
I'm like, oh shit, they killed a cop. Damn. They smeared shit on them. Now they have gone too far.
I think it's also very important to say they built like
the
gallows, and we're chanting "Hang Mike Pence," like this. So this is, you know, it's funny. Like I think the reason that I've started bringing it up in every interview, like almost every interview, is because we can't forget that'll never not be a current event.
Listen,
you know, because that has never happened in the history of this country, and some crazy shit has happened in the history of this country.
The first time a Confederate flag was brought into the House floor was this year of our Lord 2021.
On the 6th. I was like, we just got here. Like,
because we just wanted to start fresh.
That's just, listen though. My theory was that like we actually started 2021 on MLK Day, and that was just some residual like 2020 energy. Like we just needed that. There was like a sinkhole that happened between 2020 and 2021. So like it is 2021 now, but it's only been there for like 12 days.
I'm down with that.
I'm with it. Starting January 16th. Great.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, one amazing thing that's going to come out of 2021 is this incredible podcast, Say Her Name podcast. I got to listen to the first episode. Wow, that's so talk show. I'm like, I got a little sneak peek of the first episode. And wow, it was so... I don't know what I thought the podcast was going to be, but it was literally not that and so much more. It's this incredible mix of like journalism, and opinion, but also like storytelling. It's so great. So Bo, tell us about Say Her Name podcast.
I would love to, Nick. Thank you for that. Also talk show. Say Her Name. So I am a huge fan of podcasts and a huge fan of true crime. And I've wanted to do something like this for a long time, but after you listen to true crime podcasts, you hear the same stories over and over and over again. You know, there's these cases that are cold, that are out there, and people love to delve into them. So I knew I didn't want to go that route. And so in thinking of how can I mix this love, this passion of true crime, with activism, with education, and with entertainment, raising awareness of women who have been murdered by cops, whose names, some of them we know, some of them we don't know throughout the season. it just really, it sang to me. Because I can fulfill something within myself while also giving that back to not only the women who we honor, but also to hopefully a captive audience of mixed proportions. I don't know what that word would be. Mixed congregation of people who are listening because they specifically want to hear these Black stories, and then people who are coming in because they specifically want to hear true crime. And hopefully in there we can bridge some gaps, because we do dive into the facts after, hours of research. So for me, doing a fact-based storytelling podcast is a sweet spot, and then putting some opinions in on the end, so I can get my little hot takes in there too.
Yes. I love it. And you're producing it under Culture Werks Media.
Mm-hmm.
We love, God, I just love everything that folks have done in this continued pandemic to just, like you say, bro, like transform the way that we do what we do is just so exciting to me. So like, Katherine, when did you join the team, and what is Culture Werks Media?
Yeah, so Bo and I think both like really wanted to launch podcasts, and we were like, maybe we don't have to like make this hard by doing it alone and in silos. And so the more Bo and I started talking about our women, specifically Black people.
I'm gonna record because we're funny. There's something good might happen.
Kat,
Oh,
you gotta upgrade.
Yeah, they got her.
Right. That's why you should be $180.
You're back.
I'm here.
Hi.
I'm back. I'm back, y'all. It's Cox, though. I swear, it's Cox. And
I just said that.
They have my building on lock. They were like, "No, you can't get anybody else. You must go through us, and we're gonna drop internet 7 times a day."
Yeah,
because you're on Zoom.
Yep.
Wow. I didn't know they did monopolies like that here.
Oh yeah.
Oh. I ain't
Here, are you home? You're back home.
I'm in Omaha. Yeah, this is my new closet.
Where else do you get power besides OPPD?
I mean, you're right.
You talk about monopolies. Where else do you get gas besides MUD?
But wait. I was talking about on cable and like internet.
Listen, Omaha does nothing but monopolies.
Listen, it's a good board game.
That's a board I wouldn't mind flipping.
Listen. Yeah, I went to Georgia and they were like, I mean, granted, you got to get your liquor from an actual liquor store that closes at like 8 p.m. But they were like, choose your service provider for gas. And I was like, what do you mean choose? I don't have a choice. What do you mean? Why do I have a choice?
That's not an option.
Quit so much. Yep. Sometimes I want people to just tell me what to do.
Okay, so as you're saying, you and both were talking, you wanted to produce podcasts.
Yeah. So and then, you know, Bo and I, we see the world so similarly, and we've had similar journeys in terms of like what it's like to be biracial Black women, and then like of course we have like these beautiful like and dynamic differences. And so, you know, we got to talking and we were like, what is it to have like a media company that specifically centers Black people and then specifically centers Black women and Black femmes and their experience? And then like everyone else is like around for the ride and you can opt in, but like this is about us, for us, and built to be us. And so, and then on top of that, so like what does it look like to have a company that is producing media that is really focused on like shifting social understanding of the dynamism of Black culture, as done by Black women at all intersections of other social identities. So Bo is a mom, I'm child free. Like what does it look like to extend our platform to like really center the voices of like a Black woman who experiences chronic illness or disability? And so like what is it like to build a company that like is creating works of culture that is built to shift and to uplift Black stories and not just focus on Black pain all the time and Black trauma, but like what is it like to like tell our stories with our lens, and then make it readily available for people and shift culture through like just applying the pressure of producing works of media. So long story short.
No, I love that. And just to be clear, it's Culture Works with an E.
Yes.
Which makes
Culture
it
work.
authentically Black.
Yes.
That's what, every time I see it, I'm like, yes. Period.
Don't put that O over here.
No.
Well, and what I love about what you said, Katherine, is like, I think it's important for folks, especially our melanemic folks, to remember that like work, like saying that we don't want the work to center around trauma does not mean that trauma cannot exist in the work.
Yes.
And I think that's what's so great about the episode of the podcast is that like we know Sandra Bland as that awful video and the terrible pictures that they put out of her afterwards. And like, that's what most people know her as, but she was a human that did vlogs and like was this beam of light. And that, I love that it highlights that and takes us on a journey through the facts. I think it's so great. I love it so much.
Beau is, I'm just going to say something really quick. And one of the reasons why, like, let me just love on my partner real quick. One of the things that I have always been just really struck by, like, the power of Beau's storytelling. I have not known Beau very long. I met her because I did some work around Red Summer and just connecting audiences to Red Summer. And the thing that I was just like really astounded by was her ability to like infuse humanity back into Will Brown and to tell this story that was like, and we all know what's going to happen at the end, and to not center the ending of his life, like his murder and what was done to him as his entire story, but like this like beautiful like infusion of humanity into his story. And like that is one of the things that I think Beau just excels at, which is telling painful Black stories while like reminding and uplifting the humanity of Black folks and like the beauty and the dynamism, to bring that word back, because like we are all flawed, and like traumatic death tends to either lionize people or like they become one-dimensional. They're either like lionized as this like figurehead, or they're this horrible person, right? And that's the story, is they're one or the other. But we know that like binary thinking is white supremacy culture, and Beau just like excels at creating like this multifaceted representation of the Black story.
Thank you, babe. Thank you. Let me
The computer said yes. The
computer
computer was like, period.
Like, this bitch can do none of this without me. let me get my claps and snaps in as well. Let me turn these little notifications off.
That is hilarious. Just imagine our devices are like, I was with you the whole time.
That is what she's saying. She's like, no, ma'am. No. Black people have never been held to the same standards as everybody else. And we see this time and time again. If you are not, unhumanly perfect as a Black person, then even then you are going to be under insane amounts of criticism and disparaged for everything. And we all know what the fuck that's actually about. Mm-hmm. And I am bridging this gap where I'm a palatable resource of Blackness for white people.
Mm-hmm.
And I stand in that space where I want to be a gatekeeper in that way. Okay, I'm fucking exhausted of you people as well. I'm fucking done. I'm tired. I used to be much nicer about the way that I would have conversations and explain things to white people, and I'm fucking tired. Okay, so I'm approaching the work that I bring to Culture Werks in this way, that I never know who is stumbling upon our work. We are creating work in, and I want to open an opportunity to change minds and hearts and start burning those bridges of white supremacy out of people's souls and bodies that they carry with them. So when it comes to storytelling in that way, I have to approach, for our sake, for us, for our subjects, I have to approach us as human first, because that's where the story is. And that is what white people, I think, historically have never seen us as human.
Mhm.
We've always been not human, something
Hmm.
else. 3/5, but I even think that might be generous for some
That
people.
was generous.
We've always been bodies of labor. Which,
Yeah.
side note, can we abolish white people saying black bodies in 2021?
Put it on the list.
Like I'm like we gotta like. I'm like, some people are, mostly just Meghan McCain, are criticizing Joe Biden for the amount of executive orders that he's issued. But I have a long list of things that I need him to just like sign away.
Can
right
we have
now.
can we have a segment at the end where we just like throw things into the pit?
Yeah. There's let me go get my lighter, because I will burn some shit. I am known to start bonfires in the backyard just so I can burn my grievances.
Listen.
Yeah, that is one of them.
That's good. That must
Yeah,
be like a good
it works.
exercise.
Like, release this from my energy, release this from my being. Nick, there's one thing that you didn't get to hear yet. So every episode of Say Her Name comes with a co-episode called Say Her Name Too. And that's where I sit down and I have discussions with other Black women, and we talk about the case, but we talk about the insurrection. We talk about the world. We talk about being mothers. We talk about our work, our joys, where we are, what we're working on, so that it's really juxtaposed. And this was me also having that responsibility of not just talking about Black pain and Black trauma. Okay, we're going to go here because we're going to honor Sandra's life. We're going to honor Brianna's life, but we're also going to honor the lives of the women who are still working and living and breathing, loving joyously right now in America. So every episode comes like this. It's a cute little package. And do you know the picture of the woman smoking a cigar and burning the MAGA hat? This picture?
I don't know if I have.
I'm gonna send you the picture. I'll tag you in it. It's my girlfriend. Her name's Talamika Bryce. She has become, I joke with her all the time because I'm like, girl, she goes viral like every year for something new she's done. And she went viral again for this picture. And so my first interview is with her, and her babies walk in and we just shoot the shit. We both randomly had Seagram's Jamaican Me Crazy right next to
Come on now.
Sponsored by Seagram's. But I'm excited for you
Seagram's,
to hear.
if you're listening, here's the ask.
Hit us up. I was like, is that a Jamaican Me Crazy? And she's like, yeah. I was like, hold up. I ran and I got mine too. She's like, oh my God. And then she lit up her cigarette. And so it's a really casual conversation where it's basically just a kickback, and I'm excited.
Well, yeah, y'all had Jamaican Be Happies. Yes, it's a kickback. Like,
it really
I don't know. I don't think that some of y'all don't know how much bigger the E just got in Culture Works when she said they both just had Jamaican Be Happies on deck. But
yeah, and she just had it on tap, and I was like, okay. But I'm really excited for people to hear that too, because and again, this is a segment that it's just us being open and vulnerable with each other. And I want people to hear that. I want people to hear, I think it's an honor when my white girlfriends, if they get to sit in a group chat and they're the only white person in that group chat, I'm like, you're behind the brown veil. You are honored right now. You stay humble. But to be a fly on that wall of us having these really deep conversations. And her and I, we talk about colorism. We talk about humanity a lot. And she's just a brilliant and wonderful human. And so are all of my guests throughout the season. So I'm excited for people to hear those two things back to back.
Yeah. Oh, that's so exciting. So what did you two learn about these cases, these women? yourselves, a podcast, any of it? What did you learn while doing this process?
Man, I'm still learning. One thing I'm really trying to focus on in this process is because as a researcher, you're ingesting so much trauma. You're ingesting it over and over again, remembering from when you first heard the story till now. And we're living in a place where Sandy Bland never heard Breonna Taylor's name, and we're still here and we've heard them all, so I'm trying to find a place where I can still take care of myself. And so I wrote a note saying, let you do the work and don't let the work happen to you. So I'm putting it in, but I'm trying to also make sure that I'm monitoring my own mental health in that way. Also, I've just learned, how rampant and disgusting our system is. Just over and over again. But that's part of the reason I wanted the podcast to be storytelling podcast, is so that we can really have these spaces where people understand when you're listening to this is researched. These are facts. You'll be able to go and click the links on either our website or in the show notes, so you can follow all of the research that we've put into it for yourselves if you want to follow up on any of it. Because a lot of times, even when we're watching the news, opinion and fact gets too convoluted. So I wanted to show you the facts and then have the opinions later where we can kind of break them down together.
Love that. Love that.
White folks are always like, wait till all the facts come out. The facts are out and they're ugly for you.
Yeah.
So I need them to know, like, they're here for you. Eat them, please.
Eat these facts.
Eat these fucking facts. There's definitely a level of like vengeance in my soul, a little bit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it comes with the territory.
Oh, I was about to ask Katherine a question, but she is frozen. I saw it in her eyes the moment that I looked at her box.
You was frozen? Call Cox. I'm gonna call Cox. They're doing too much. They are doing too much.
Well, I was just gonna see if she had any other. Oh, you're back.
Oh my God, white supremacy. Cox is white supremacy.
White
they don't want me to be great.
They don't want us to talk.
They don't want me to be great.
So besides, like, your freedom from Cox, is there anything else you'd like to add to the list of executive orders for Joe Biden before we wrap up?
Oh, just liberate me from my slow ass internet. Shit, that's a small pocket of liberation you can do for me right now.
I want all of my white girlfriends to take classes. They have to all take classes because I'm just done with them. Not all of them, but like a lot.
Just a large handful.
Send them to me. That's my job now.
Yeah.
That's my job.
Plug number three. She's
there you go.
But it's like, this is what I've learned about myself is I have a higher threshold for I have a lower threshold for white bullshit. And so like that is my place in the movement, is to do that, because realistically, like I haven't lived my entire life as a Black person, so I've got some reserves, because it took me a while to get into like claiming my Blackness. So send your tired, your troubled white folk masses on over here, and let me just
your huddled masses.
let me just take care of them. And I got good white people on reserve, so when I can't, like,
I'm excited. We got some shows coming up. Kat's going to be launching her pod in April. Yes. And then we have a very special 4-part pod we're very excited about, where we can dig deeper into the identity of biracial Blackness and talk with people and share these experiences and have real talk around it, because I think that's going to be a cool conversation for other people to sit in and listen in on, while people just get real about identity.
Also just centering the voices of like biracial folks and letting biracial Black people talk about their identity, not from the lens of what it's like to be monoracially Black. Because that's a conversation that needs to be had as well. Yeah. And launching in April, Liberation Bay the pod. So
yes,
we'll be back. We'll be making the rounds again in late March.
I love it.
And she's gonna be cute and ratchet and real. Cute, ratchet, and real.
When does Say Her Name podcast drop, and how do I listen?
We launch on February 7th, which is also Sandy Bland's birthday. And you can find it on Apple, Stitcher, Spotify, and Anchor. And then we're gonna have a little get together afterward with Maria Corpuz with Nightcaps, and just kind of have a wind down after people listen to the episode. So I'll plug that somewhere. I'll put it on something.
Yeah.
Follow Bo on the social medias.
It'll be out there.
Oh, Katherine, Beaufield, thank you so much for reaching out to speak about this incredible project. I'm super excited to listen to the rest of the episodes. And the companion episode, wow, like I didn't even know, like that's like
you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. Yes. My guests are bomb, like for real.
I love it. Well, thanks for coming and thanks for chatting. Yes, of course.
Welcome back. I'm glad you're home.
I know. I'm happy to be here.
like we need you here.
Listen,
you know that.
There's a lot to be done, and I think that we're getting the train going. We're getting the train going. They need all of us.